Good day, our fellow students and our dear teachers. We are the Group 4 researcher from Grade 12 St. Vincent. Our research study was entitled Connecting Prodigy, the Impact of Internet Problem to the Senior High School Students in SPBA. I'm Jadal Timbang, the leader of Group 4, and these are my members, Jovel Yumang, Lea Arellano, and Leo Mercado. First of all, I will discuss the introduction. As a student, we all know that we are the mostly persons that need an education to be successful someday. But because of the pandemic, some are not able to study because they don't have enough money to buy gadgets that may help them to attain online learning and also in modular learning. They need also have a source of information to know what the best answer they will write to the problems written in their modules. We live in the one of the country which have a poor internet connection because we have a lot of mountainous places, especially in Bataan. There are lots of municipalities and barangays that have a poor internet connection, and also when places have a strong winds, it may affect any broadband internet and could knock over these lines, causing your internet speeds to slow or stop completely. Even in people using a prepaid loads, the strong winds can affect it. Also because like broadband internet or Wi-Fi, it is also needed a strong signal. Thus, researchers sought similar studies in article regarding connecting prodigy, the impact of internet problem to the senior high school students in SPBA, finding based on some related literatures and studies. With such data, it is clear that majority of our respondents are aged 17 and 18. And when it comes to gender, almost all of our participants are female, and there are only few men and members of LGBTQ+. According to the Web 2020, the teacher helps to run virtual discussion among the students, assigns homework, and follows up with individual students. Sometimes, these courses are asynchronous, which is non-concurrent, and sometimes are synchronous. Teachers and students all meet at the same time. In both cases, the teacher is supposed to provide opportunities for students to engage thoughtfully with subject matters, and students, in most cases, are required to interact with each other virtually. Online courses provide opportunities for students. This part is for our reference links that may help us to avoid plagiarism.
Statement of the problem. This study attempted to educating more the students on how to use the internet in a useful way, and it is the way of studying hard. The main objective of this study is to give answers to the questions of the students and also to motivate them to continue learn for having a better education even if it is so hard to learn because we are in the middle of crisis, and we as a students we also do our research to educate them even if we know that others have lack of interest, especially we studying at home, so that we need a strong signal and internet access. The study attempts to answer the following research question. First, how many percent of senior high school students in Hermosa experience having internet problem in terms of online discussion, taking assessment, feedbacking. The second one is how many students in Hermosa are able to study online learning and modular learning. The third one is how many households in Bataan are having broadband internet or Wi-Fi. And the process is, first, data gathering. This may include online survey. The second one is the data analysis. This included mean and percentage. And the third one is the output. This may include the part of expected outcome. The students may earn some knowledge or already educate on how to use the internet useful way or works. This is also may help the other people on how to earn some information without internet, and also change their mindset that the internet is not just a thing that give us some expenses, but it can help us to access in different sites, especially in studying online right now. The study is a quantitative type of research which utilizes the descriptive method, instrument, survey questionnaire. Part 1 was composed of questionnaire about the demographic profile of our respondents. Part 2. This part of the questionnaires requires you to answer general questionnaires regarding the use of internet connection in studying. Part 3 is these are the questionnaires about finding their biggest problems in using the web. This part is required to answer based from how frequent they experiences the problems. Part 4 is this part includes an open-ended question which they may answer and give their own ideas about their internet problems. Our research participants are the senior high school students in St. Peter of Verona Academy that is using online studying for their learning. We all know that online learning is very hard because we are already experiencing that. This is a big problem that we are facing now. We always hear the motto, "No students left behind," but it already happened. Not all the students that is using online studying has the ability to adjust. It is hard to adjust to the new things. Many students in St. Peter of Verona Academy chooses online classes and the reason is to become easy to their studying. But they are wrong. It is not easy to be a virtual learning. Not all students can cope up with this kind of situation, so that we will all know the problems of our participants.
Choose online studying and they experience problems on the signal and internet connection. In the second table shows the distribution of respondents based on their gender. You can see from the table that 70 over 128 or 54.7% of the students are female. In the third table shows their midterm average grade. In total of 128 students that answer our survey, 59 or 46.1% have a midterm average of 90 above. In this first graph shows the frequency of 102 students. In percentage, 79.7% of students are reading books and stories. Because reading is important, it is a big part of learning. And also, some of our participants are interested in reading. In the second graph shows that 111 students spending their time in Twitter.
Internet access have three parts: the internet access, frequency, and the percentage. The example of internet access is broadband, have 69 frequency and 53.9 percentage. Cellular have 38 frequency and 29.7 percentage. The DSL have 15 frequency and 11.2 percentage. And no internet access have 4 frequency and 3.1 percentage. And true dial-up have 2 frequency and 1.6 percentage. The whole total of frequency is 128 and in percentage is 100%. Internet you do schoolworks. Unlimited access have 83 frequency and 64.8 percentage. Medium access 3 to 4 hours have 30 frequency and 23.4 percentage. Limited access 1 to 2 hours have 14 frequency and 10.9 percentage. I can't use my device at home have 1 frequency and 0.8 percentage. The total of frequency is 128 and the total of percentage is 100%. In this part, the 69 students out of 128 or 53.9% are using broadband. In the table number 5 shows the availability to access internet to do their tasks. But in the first frequency of 83 or 64.8% are saying that have unlimited access, while the table number 6 shows that over 128 there have 63 or 49.2% are saying somewhat comfortable using their devices in their schoolworks. In the table 7, shows what is the connection speeds on learning time of the student. For moderate connection, it have frequency or 60 or 46.9%, and it is the most connection speeds of internet to students. The main point is not all students can handle the demands of online learning just because you think their families can afford it.
For our weighted mean table, lots of them have problems on it, so that each questions that we attach to our survey is related to the true situation of students right now. And as you can see, it have an average weighted mean of 3.182, and it have a descriptive equivalent of S, which means sometimes. And it can be seen that we got our total sample to get information about the situation of students in online studying. Because of difficult circumstances students face now, and most of them are no longer able to follow teachers' lessons and schoolworks, they ask to do in addition to correcting that others often don't have a signal and don't get into online conferences. But there are still a few who are lucky enough to have a strong signal, and there is internet access that helps students continue their studies despite the spread of the pandemic. Our accomplished data shows that there are many students who are struggling with online studying, but enduring the graduate from the school, they choose online learning instead of stop learning. And for our analysis and conclusion, number 1, majority of respondents are aged 17 and 18. Such age is only proportionate to their grade level, which is grade 11 and grade 12. Further, such age is already suggestive that since they choose to study online, they have a lot of problems and conflicts in their subjects, and one of their problems is the signal or internet connection.
One of the most easiest ways to ensure follow-through is to remember that you are paying this online course just as you would for a traditional in-person class. You must show up if you're going to get real value out of your class.
Set goals at the beginning of the semester and check in with yourself weekly. In a traditional classroom setting, you'll often receive verbal or visual reminder of assignments upcoming due date. But without a professor actively reminds you, it's up to you to make sure you've allotted enough time to complete the work so you're not starting an assignment the day before it's due.
The flexibility to create your own schedule is often one of the biggest appeals of taking online classes. But that freedom can also be detrimental if you do not have solid time management skills. Without them, you might easily find yourself cramming before classes or handing a sub-4 assignment.